Happy Children's Day. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the latest with me. Hello, BC. Missed you.
Yeah, I missed you
How
guys
have you
too.
been? We just disappeared.
I've been well. I've been busy. I've been working, handling business. There are a lot of things.
You're making the money.
What can we do
Yeah,
now?
I can see
I'm
that.
not Dangote yet now. I will keep striving.
But you're definitely close, I can tell.
No. Far. I'm not
How
close
is
at all.
everything?
I'm
Anything
good.
new?
I'm good. Just handling work. Have the family on one corner.
Yeah.
They're pulling you, the pressure from this side,
Right.
and work pressure. So I'm just trying to find a balance.
I like the hair.
Thank you.
It's different. We're not used to you having this
curly around
short.
your face.
But it's
Thank
nice. It's
you.
nice. It looks very mature, though.
Yes, I
Which
look
is
like an
like-
elder somebody this month.
Anyways, how you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine, thank you.
Children's Day, what do you got? Kids do anything special?
My kids asked specifically, Mom, please, can we have cake today? So we're going to have cake, and I'm going to make jollof rice for them. Yes.
Nice.
So that's for them.
I'm not in that space
And
right
just
now.
and just spend time with them. So I'll be off my phone and just spend time
You know,
with them.
and we
That's
just
what
did
I'll
birthday on Sunday. We spent time.
do.
We already spent that time.
So they
I
are
don't
celebrating.
think they remember it's Children's Day today. Maybe when I get home, they will
My
know.
kids didn't
But I didn't have that conversation on Children's Day.
Oh, my
because,
kids
man,
have been waiting for Children's Day ever since.
They
Oh, amazing.
remember dates?
Yes. Oh, my children, especially my son, he's very good with dates.
Wow.
If he sees you today, if he sees you in 3 years, he'll remind you, I met you
on this
Wednesday, time, and what you were wearing. That's how he is.
That's a
But the last time you called me was 3 months ago, August, blah, blah, blah.
For
That's
real?
how, yeah.
Oh, my Lord. That guy is a genius. Cool.
Very
Though. So,
good
I
with
mean,
dates.
it's just the kids today. I'm thinking maybe, now that you're mentioning it, maybe I'll go and do something. We still
Get
have
cake
ice
again.
cream.
You still have cake.
We still have cake and they still ice
And then
cream.
maybe do something with them.
Just maybe play
My daughter
games
is
today.
saying that we should do popsicles. We should make popsicles with
Please,
fruits.
do you have the
and then-
molds?
No, we don't.
How would you know?
I don't know. She has an idea, so we'll see how it works.
Yeah, I used to do those things as a kid. You have those nice molds, just keep
put them
freeze
in.
it
Yeah.
overnight.
We have the the sticks.
Yeah, you have the
So,
sticks.
yeah.
Okay, so just find a cup and
Any
nice,
cup will do. Yeah.
That's cool. Anyways, so
And-
nothing else is happening, right?
Yeah.
Same old
Work.
This is supposed to be our anniversary week, actually. So we were supposed to be having some governors, but today we just thought to dedicate it to the children. So do get your kids to call in. We'd like to speak to one or two of them. You know, just to find out how they're faring during this period. If they miss school, so try to call in. We'd like to speak to your kids, and if we can even get some on Skype, we'd love to do that. So at
that
least
would be nice.
to nice. So we're going to dedicate today to them. And our anniversary is on Friday. Join us. We'd like to just celebrate with everybody. Thank God for what has been doing on your view, and just have a great day. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Okay, so very quickly we'll go through the papers. Starting with The Nation. No, I'm not starting with The Nation today, actually. I'm upset with The Nation. They did
why?
not,
What did they do?
Punish them.
You know, what's even upsetting me is the fact that the DG of NAFDAC was on our show yesterday. And she said quite a bit of things on this
Some
hydroxychloroquine.
questions that were asked.
All the papers mentioned the fact that she came on a private station.
They don't know your
They
view.
don't mind them. They couldn't even acknowledge TVC.
No,
that,
we're-
okay,
we're
even
taking
if you
off
don't want
that
to mention
paper.
our program, we are very humble, don't worry. But at least the least you can do. Because if it was the other station,
Yeah,
they would
would have
mention it
mentioned, yes,
on
they do
clinical
that.
station.
And the person that asked the question.
Exactly, God bless
Yeah.
you. They will mention, but for us, they just felt, no, we are women. What do
Yeah.
they, what do
What
they
are
know?
they even saying?
What are they
Excuse
saying?
me.
Yeah, so I think our Nation of all the papers.
take
Yes, so that Nation at least, the least you can do is mention TVC. So, you know,
Take
put
it
Nation at
last.
the back.
Yes.
Yes.
We will
we're
not get
even
to it
Nation. I think a Punch that even mentioned TVC.
Small.
We'll
Let's
start with
with
Punch.
Punch.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Okay, NSCIA raises panel. Can meet on worship centers reopening. Man rejected by Lagos hospital over COVID-19 fear dies. Lautech hospital battles morgue congestion, threatens mass burial. Lecturer tackles Osun rector for suspension over alleged plagiarism. And picture here, FCT arrests 29 Lagos-bound commercial motorcyclists, seizes their trucks. Nigerian children deserve all care and attention, says Gbajabia Mila. IMF advises banks to suspend dividend payment, and we have no deal with Akeredolu's deputy, says Ondo PDP. Let's start with the human interest story. It's really, really painful
So
story.
this
Go ahead.
particular man known as Joel was playing football on Sunday when he slumped.
Right.
And then he was rushed to the hospital. So they took him to Isolo General Hospital. On getting there, the nurses and doctors refused to attend to him, according to the story. So the sisters and mother kept pleading and pleading and pleading till they finally got one doctor who just came into the car because they had to move him back into the car when they refused to attend to him. Just came there, looked at him and certified him dead, that he should be taken to the mortuary. So the mother just slumped and everybody felt the pain that you didn't even give us a chance, you didn't even touch him, you didn't even check him before certifying him. But the hospital is saying that they are not in the business of, sending back patients. That what actually happened was that the guy was brought in dead already.
Check.
But did they check?
The
Did
family
they
must see that you checked.
Yes.
And this is not the first time I'm hearing this story. And we're probably going to deal with this sometime next week because a lot of people have been complaining they've lost loved ones because hospitals have simply refused to attend to patients. And that's a problem. We'll deal with that story because we're gathering all the examples.
Where the medical workers are saying we do not have the PPE and we have to be careful.
So we now need to see both sides of the divide. We'll have that conversation next week. Let's talk about
the picture story.
Yes, the picture story.
Okay, so in the FCT, the COVID enforcement tax team arrested about 29, not arrested, they met with 29 motorcyclists who were traveling from Lafia, Nasarawa State, and were coming to Lagos. The driver said when he got to Abuja, this group of motorcyclists begged to follow him, that they were going to pay him 2,000 naira each. And when they were asked, the motorcyclists themselves, they said, well, we are motorcyclists in Lagos and our owners, the owners of the bikes are saying if we don't get back on time, they're going to sell our bikes. So we're trying to get back there. The enforcement agency is really upset, as you can imagine. It's like every time we put this interstate ban, these guidelines, nobody follows them. And so they have been sent back to their states of origin.
I was going to take one more story. Lautech, that's the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital, are saying that their morgue is congested. Whoa. People need to come and pick up the corpses. They're not so much because of COVID-19, but the fact that people are not just burying. People are probably waiting for after COVID-19 to do that big fanfare party.
That takes
but they're saying, just quickly, that in 2 weeks, so they're giving this notice. So in 2 weeks, if the family doesn't come to pick up their bodies, they would do a mass burial.
That takes me back to our tradition of we must bury with so much ceremony.
Fanfare.
We have to fanfare. We have to wear the ashwebis. We have to spend so much money. Bury the dead. The dead has gone. We don't need to keep, I like
sometimes it's easier said than done. No. I'm thinking if it was me.
No, it was me.
If somebody that I know that is close to me.
It doesn't matter.
And I also
a little burial, say the prayers and just go home. The way they do it, we just...
No, it's because I think for the Yoruba people, it's a part of your culture and tradition. And
that
this is the time
there's no money. We should be thinking of the future.
It's not even about the money. It's that you can do the fanfare later, as you said.
Oh, definitely, absolutely.
Don't need the fanfare now.
But definitely, I would advise you let the dead
bury the dead,
and then the party gotta happen.
It mustn't happen.
Yeah, it gotta happen.
It can happen. What? Celebrate life.
80. Your mother is 95 and she passes away and you not do party.
Take care of her.
While
she's alive.
No.
Let her enjoy her life. When she goes, send her away with hymns.
We don't
and Bible reading.
We don't suffer our family. They are the good hands. Where they are going, we celebrate. Daily Sun. COVID-19, FG gives stringent conditions for flight resumption. No going back on NDDC probe, says reps. Governors meet over Buhari's order for state judiciary legislature financial autonomy. Abuja Task Force arrests 29 Lagos-bound commercial motorcyclists, and Anambra community issues stern warning to herdsmen. Finally, IPOB observes Biafra Day without sit at home. Let's take the major headline.
Yes, so the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has said that passengers should brace up because they're going to be carrying out rigorous checks, health checks at the airport. So if you know that you're traveling, you need to get in a few hours ahead just to get ready because we'll have checks and rechecks. And I think they're saying that about 45, the fare will be increased to like 45%. So if you don't need to travel, you really don't need to travel. Now, VIPs who are coming in with their aids won't be allowed into the terminals. They don't have any immunity. They will be checked and rechecked like every other person. So people should just, buckle their belts. If you don't really need to travel, there's no problem.
Brace up for delays, pretty much in a nutshell, and you pay more. That's not
45%.
That's the times that we're in
our houses.
IPOB says that their members across the world should pray and fast during this period. Usually they do a sit at home, but they're saying this time there'll be a candlelight. Everybody do your private prayers and fast to remember those who were killed during the war and starved to death. Let's just any other story. Let's move on to Vanguard. COVID-19, doctors raise alarm, lament lack of tests in Kogi and Cross River. COVID-19 slowing down railway project, says Amechi. COVID-19, Jonathan asks Africa to look inward for cure. Governorship poll, Ondo Deputy Governor begs PDP aspirants to step down for him. And the PDP says, it's a lie, I didn't beg them.
All right,
One second. Headsband bandit attacks will now take our own destiny in our hands, says Delta government. And NAFDAC disagrees with WHO, continues hydroxychloroquine trials. Okay, which story are we taking in Vanguard?
First, let's take the Transportation Minister,
Right.
Mr. Rotimi Amechi, is really worried that the pandemic has slowed down most of our railway projects that had been ongoing. And he said that if not for this pandemic, we would have been traveling, the Kano Ibadan rail would have been on course, and they were already looking at the Boni Maiduguri rail, which would have passed through Bauchi and Jos, and that, personally would have been fantastic for me. I have an uncle that lives in Boni, and it would be so nice. I remember when my mom went to visit him, she went by air to Port Harcourt, then got on a helicopter, then coming back got on a ferry. It would have been nice if she had to just sit in a train and get all the way to Bonny. Yeah. So he's saying that this is slowing things down, and also the problem of funds, that just the Kano Ibadan rail, it's about 1.6 billion. And so the federal government is looking all across the world for funds to be able to carry out this project. Okay,
the major headline, let's talk about Kogi State. Kogi and Cross River are insisting that there are no cases in their state, or they have very limited cases. So the doctors in these states are complaining that people are coming in with symptoms of COVID-19, but because they can't test, they don't have enough testing kits, they don't have labs to check. I mean, although Kogi, I think, was it Kogi or Cross River, just opened one very recently, a testing center. But the point is that they're saying that many patients are coming in, they can't test, and it's a problem, and they're complaining that asking government to please get Kogi State government, obviously, to begin testing in their states so that they know for a fact if they don't have COVID-19. Go ahead, Delta State.
So Delta State has been in the news lately, and they've been complaining about the challenges they are facing with headsmen and bandits. So they are more like surrounded, as so to speak. So they've also called out on the federal government to assist them in bringing these people to book. But they are saying that the federal government hasn't done anything so far. So they are going to take their destiny in their hands. Wow. And one of the things they want to do is to have like a security outfit, which I mentioned last week here, Operation Delta Hawk. And also they are appealing to the traditional leaders who sell lands to foreigners that they should make their checks, ensure that they know the people they are selling to. And they gave an executive order to drive out all the people who are living in the bushes. Meanwhile, the Fulani headsmen who were in the bushes came out to protest, saying that we actually paid for these lands and we are here to work. We've been living in this community. We are not the problem, so you can't send us away. I would appeal to the state government to ensure that those people, I don't think sending them away, it's the right thing for now. But they should have a way to identify them. So if you are in the bushes, they should know where you are, have your records and all of that, so that if new people are coming in, they can differentiate and not just rub it on everybody.
Okay, before I move on to the other people, just to conclude on Kogi State, the government has responded, said that there's no cause for alarm, that they are prepared for coronavirus tests and all that. So hopefully that that will be sorted out in that state. Moving on very quickly to the Nigerian Tribune. NDDC 2019 budget padded with over 500 fake projects, says MD. Northeast to lose a generation to Boko Haram military actions. Executive order, Accountant General can seize defaulting states' funds. Governors to meet over financial autonomy for state judiciary legislator. LIRS extends deadline for filing of annual return, and 218 returnee Almajirai test negative to be enrolled in school, says Al-Rufai. Lots of stories here. Let's pick a few.
Let me take the major headlines. Yes. So the acting managing director of NDDC, Professor Keme Bradikumo Ponte, I had to get his name, on Tuesday, in response to an accusation that they misappropriated funds, says, well, first of all, the National Assembly, when they take their budget, when they took their budget, the 2019 budget, to the National Assembly, it came back to them unrecognizable because it had been padded with non-existing projects, about 500 of them. That's according to them. They said that meaningful projects that they are meant to do were just giving a little amount of money. Meanwhile, the ones that they did not put on their budget came with so much money. That this is a commission that would be doing big projects in the region, but they are left to be doing local government work like putting street lights and constructing drainages. They also said that anyway, in response, the National Assembly is saying that this is laughable, that we do not give project, we don't contract contracts anyway, so what is he talking about? But there's a forensic audit that the president has asked to be done, and NDDC are waiting, they are eager for it, and National Assembly is saying we are eager for it, we'd like to see. In
addition to that, National Assembly is also saying that the NDDC had brought in a budget of 400 billion.
Yes.
They reduced it to 340 something.
Billion.
So that was where the issue is, and that's how the whole drama started. That well, they're also ready for the forensic audit, as they're saying. Okay.
Kaduna State.
Kaduna, very quickly.
Yeah. So the governor, El Rufai, is saying that 218 Amajiris that returned have tested negative. So they are planning to ensure that they return them to their parents, make sure they reunite them with their parents, and ensure that they enroll them in public schools so they can use the mornings to do the normal school like every other child or every other children, and in the afternoons they do the is it Amajiri they call it Muslim Islamic school for afternoons and weekends.
And finally, all 36 state governors will be meeting today to discuss this executive order to see how many of them are not finding it funny. I'm happy that the Delta State governor said it on Monday on our show that they've been doing this in their own state for a while, so it's not a big deal for them. But quite a few other governors are worried about these executive order because that means that the money doesn't go through them. Some of them feel that, listen, we are the custodians of the resources in our state, and we should be able to be the one to determine who gets what. But the government is saying no, the money goes directly to the judiciary and state legislature. But we'll see the outcome of that meeting today. Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's all about children. Today we're celebrating Children's Day. While the children and parents call in, let us know what you're doing at home, how you're keeping the kids busy, and if the children are enjoying this period. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So all schools are locked due to COVID-19. However, the children continue their education through online learning and via video calls. In commemorating Children's Day today, we'd like children and parents to call in to share their own experience on virtual learning, physical learning, and even playing at home during this period. You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read your tweets. We're opening our phone lines to children this morning. Parents call in, let us see what you're doing and how you've been managing the kids. I know the parents have been they have complained about this matter, you know. And honestly, I mean, okay, let's start with the virtual learning part before we come to the behaviors. I mean, how have you been able to manage that virtual learning? What has been your experience so far? Has it been easy? Has it been something that you just wish never happened? But yeah, let me start with you, Maria.
So where we are today, as of right now, is we have to do, one will do it in the office, the other person has to do it inside the house because they do not work when they are both in the same place. And then secondly, for me, what I struggle with, especially with my son, is we're used to getting homework, you know, regular school. You go to school, you do the work, you come back, you'd have written down notes. But he said, I don't have any notes to write. I already know what they're saying. I've answered it. And for me, I feel you need to have written down notes and then you talk about it later at home. Right. So I don't like it. But I asked him, I said, which do you prefer? He says, Mommy, I prefer online learning. Even when school resumes, Mommy, that's my daughter, please, let's do online learning. I asked the boy why. He says, because on the side, I can be playing my games. And
He was that truthful.
Now, at this stage, they are.
I'm like, can you imagine? Is that why we are here? And then they are chatting with each other,
They do
which
that.
I sort of like because, as you're bringing up your children, you want them to be sort of in tune with the times.
Yes, they're digital
And
natives
so
anyway.
good. So they are learning some of these
Yes.
things. We're not waiting until they are old enough. But and also because we're at home at pandemic, we're able to watch what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the
Monitor
times when we have to go to work, we can't
Right,
watch them.
right. The other day, my Aburo was, because she actually, when I'm in the office like this, she helps me out to start off, and she had to go to work. She wasn't around. So the older one actually helped them. She was able to turn on the computer, get them to their own web pages, get them to sign in, and play their video for them. I was really
She's
impressed.
Ada now.
I'm like, yeah?
They do that.
When I got back home, I'm like, who helped you? Say, Mommy, I helped them.
Yeah.
And they actually, and it really went well.
Yeah.
And she made sure they learned it. I wanted to be sure that she
that's
didn't
good.
actually do it for them. No,
did,
she sat there, and I saw her doing the other ones. She said, what's the answer? I was
do
wondering,
this.
oh my goodness.
Oh, that's nice.
So kids, I mean, it has actually taught them a bit of independence, a bit of
Yeah.
ability. So they're now getting so used to the computers. As many say, they're digital natives. This is their own generation. That's what they do.
Exactly.
And it's important that we start them early, but at the same time, we need to put the right mechanics in place so that they don't.
So you can monitor
They can
them.
monitor, because our parents complained. This is a teenager, I think it was 13 or 12 years old. Whilst we were on Zoom with the teacher talking, she minimized,
The teacher.
went online, and started doing something else.
Jesus.
Oh, you have not heard the one that Oyinbo children, they will take a screenshot of the thing and just pretend as if they are, you have the picture that shows
Right.
you, so they
And
take a
leave it there.
screenshot and leave it there so that you think that they are on. Meanwhile, they're doing something else. These children are really smart.
Yeah, so you have to really, really be on top of them. Let me take Ade. Ade, are you there? Hello? Hello, thanks for calling.
I think he's listening
I
to the
think
TV.
we are, yeah, I'm going to be listening to it. So TV's a bit delayed. So,
Hello?
hello?
Morning.
Good morning, darling. How are you?
Hi.
So
Today is Children's Day and I'm not happy.
Tell me
Yes.
about it. Yeah, it's Children's Day. Absolutely. So what do you plan to do today? Anything different kind of happening today?
I want to pray for coronavirus to go away from our country.
Nice. Do you miss school? Do you miss going to
Hello?
school?
I'm not going to school.
I said, do you miss going to school? Do you miss your friends at school?
Yes.
Do you miss your teachers?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Nice. So tell me, are you doing online learning at home?
No.
No. So you've not started virtual learning at all?
Yes. But they send me school messages.
Okay. So do you like that better than real school? Do you like that better than real school? Do you like that better than real school?
I can't hear you.
Do you like the messages they send you than going to school, feel like the real going to real school?
Yes.
Really?
Why?
Why? Okay. Let me ask you one final question. So when you're not doing your schoolwork, what do you do? Do you play or do you watch cartoons? What exactly do you do? Oh, I think we lost that call.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd like to get as I said, today's for the kids. Try to get the kids to call in. We'd like to just hear their own thoughts on today and what they've been doing so far.
Yeah.
Yes, BC.
It's been fun for my kids, especially my elder daughter. She's able to handle her classes, do her homework and all of that with
Yeah.
minimal supervision.
Yeah.
But my son,
Sure.
hey, I would chase him around the whole class, the whole house for him to sit down and do his work. It's like schooling is punishment. I said, Uncle, when they resume, I'm going to. He said, no, I prefer this one. I said, so that I'll be chasing. Honestly, nothing. I will chase him round to get him to do the work. Because what happens is, because I'm using just about a few gadgets, it's not enough for 3 of them.
Yeah.
So when my daughter is doing in the morning, I have to come home and wait for him to have his classes later. That's the time my elder daughter is watching TV. And his eyes, he wants to watch TV. He doesn't want to do his work. Now, I still have my younger daughter who have not even started the online learning. But
Right.
I think there was an arrangement with their school that they'll be
Right.
sending worksheets, special worksheets
to
home
them.
we do it for a week and we return. That will work best for me, for her
yeah.
age. But that, my son, I really do not understand how I'm going to
Oh my God.
plead
A lot
with
of
him to do his
parents
work.
are in that you. I mean, they understand what you're going through, especially when you have young boys who are, they're very energetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are smart, but they just don't like that formal book thing.
No.
They like to do so many other things. I think I have another caller. Good morning, are you there? Hello, thanks for calling. Happy Children's Day.
Same to you.
So tell me about home in the last few weeks. How has it been?
Yes. Okay.
Are you enjoying staying at home?
Yes.
Nice. Tell me about the virtual learning. Are you doing online schooling right now?
No, they said we were going to start on June 1st.
June 1st.
Great. So between the last time you were in school till now, what have you been doing at home?
Playing.
Nice. So what kind of play do you play?
I play with my friends.
Oh,
You have friends?
outside or inside the house?
I play my baby doll and my friends in my compound.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
that's fine.
Fantastic. Oh, good. So do you like watching cartoons?
Yes.
Have you learned anything special during this period, like baking, cooking, or sweeping, sewing, or laying your bed or something?
Yes.
Like what? Which one?
I'll make my baby hair.
Ah, nice. Who taught you?
Yes.
Who taught you?
My mom.
The mommy is there. Let me talk to your mommy for a second.
Okay. Hello, ma.
Hello, hi.
Last time caller.
Yay!
Welcome to the show.
Tell us, how have you been managing with the kids? I mean, school learning starts in June, so what have you been doing so far?
Actually, nothing. Their school just sent us a message that they'll be starting their online lesson June 1st.
Okay.
So we should get them ready.
Nice.
If not for the Salah holiday, they will have started this week. So they decided to give them this week or two. To next week. But it
Fantastic.
has been cooking and cooking and cooking.
Abi, tell me about it. They are constantly eating. They are constantly, especially that thing called bread. Jesus Christ, I must have bread in the house.
2 loaves every day.
I mean, I buy four. Because by the time I'm entering like this, 12 slices are gone.
Yeah, 2 loaves every day.
You know, so tell me, how do they watch cartoon a lot? Oh, I think I lost that call.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed is because you're home now, you're home more,
Right.
you want to be able to have your own me time. So most kids are left to watch cartoons from morning till night. Just after that schoolwork, okay, because you need your space. You need to be able to think and do other things, which is not very, very healthy for the children. And you wouldn't say, okay, stop what you're doing so that you can attend to them, play. They need physical contact. This is the time you have as a parent to engage, play
Thank
ball
you for taking us
outside.
there.
you
Thank you
know.
for taking us there, because Praise Fowowe is going to be joining us very soon to help us understand, because at this time, parents find it easy just let go, let the kids just have
Watch
their time
TV.
and just watch TV all day. And it's important that we know how to manage our time at this period.
Yeah, because I was saying that physical contact, for me, it just seems as if my kids want more physical contact than ever. I'm like, when did this happen? You want to enter inside the
Yes.
room. I mean,
Especially my baby.
I'll sit down like this. Want to come like this.
Yes.
Want to come like
And
this.
you have them
And I will jump on my head.
Yeah.
Baby will be crying, pushing them, and I'm like, okay.
I'm like, I'm an individual. You're an individual. Take your individual
your
space.
babies for
Help me.
Let me go on a break now. When we come back, we'll hopefully get in a Praise Fowowe, because he's an expert in childcare and child development especially, and he can help us understand how best to handle this period. Some parents are loving it, some parents are hating it, others are like in between. So let's see what the pros and cons are, especially for watching cartoons and getting the kids busy with other things. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So cartoons are obviously an inevitable part of a child's everyday life. Many children are used to watching cartoons all the days of their lives. And now, I mean, they're kids, they're always watching cartoons. However, cartoons can also have bad and good effects on their cognitive development and behavior. So today we'll be speaking with a parental expert and out-of-box parenting expert, actually, Praise Fowowe. Good morning, Praise. Are you there?
Is he there?
Okay.
There,
I guess we'll come to Praise a bit later. I'm told that Praise is not ready now. But first, we'll take a few more calls. We might have somebody waiting for us. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, Mariah.
Mercy. Thanks for calling. Sorry about that.
Good morning.
Yes. So how are the kids?
They're doing very well, just giving me problems at home.
Good problems,
Just say
I believe.
challenges. Don't say problems. They can be very
Challenges,
challenging.
really. Can't wait for them to go back to school.
So have they been watching a lot of cartoons lately?
Yes, my little daughter May likes to watch cartoons, but Shanta likes to play outside.
Do you allow them to play outside during this COVID-19?
No, just in the compound.
Yes, because we even had that issue earlier, getting the kids out of the compound. We said, just stay where the cars are, where I can see you. Don't, you know? But now we've relaxed that. But tell us,
Yeah.
how has their feeding been since?
Yeah. They've eating so much. Like, they watch their time every day. Mostly my older daughter, Shanta, she eats with time. Everything. She has to have a 3-square meal. It has to be complete.
Your own is 3 square, our own is 4 square for the children.
I have a problem with the sleeping. Do they get to sleep late and
They
wake up
don't-
late?
Yes, they sleep late, but they don't sleep in the afternoon, which is a challenge for me.
Okay.
Because I work as well. So I'm working from home, you know, and
You need them to
they
sleep at
disturb
night.
a lot.
You need them to sleep during the day to give you time to work.
Yeah.
yeah, they give me time to work, but Chantal is always disturbing me. Like, she's the senior one, but
Okay.
wants my attention 100%.
Have they started online schooling?
They have.
And how is
Yeah.
that as
it's a
compared
challenge as well. In fact, I am their teacher. I don't think I buy that idea of online. They should go back to school,
Abi,
please.
did you have to buy an extra laptop? Because I'm having that difficulty. I'm in school. I'm having to share my laptop with them. So when they are done, I then take it over.
Yes, I had to. Okay, I have a phone. My younger sister uses the phone, while the senior one uses a laptop. So I have to finish my work before she can start her own
classes.
online learning.
How has data consumption been? Tell me.
Babe, this is serious. Another thing, see, sitting at home is not just we spend money on food, we spend on data, we buy
It's more expensive.
snacks. Is a whole lot. Is a whole lot. They're spending so much.
You know, thank you so
Can't
much
wait for them. Really wait for them to go
get
back to school.
You see, I mean, you know, thank you so
Can't
much
wait for them. Really wait for them to go
get back to school. You see, I mean, thank you very much, Mercy. Living with my brother in the US, I kind of got used to during the day, turn off, like my brother has a saying like, as in only rich people turn on the lights in the afternoon. So when we're all going to work in the morning, all the lights are off.
Don't need it.
So we kind of plan, we have an idea of the budget of how electricity would be.
Yeah.
So the meter, my husband and I have an idea how much you spend monthly. But now that has doubled.
Spend more, yeah.
Because the
Spend
TV
more
is
when
always
you're
on. The air conditioner, once there's light, permanently on. They are there running
the
around.
lights on as
The
well?
all the lights in their room. I'm constantly, once I get home now, first of all, I'm going to their room to turn off the fan, turn off the lights. I'm like, what is wrong with these children? You know, so those kind of things add up. Now you're having to buy data,
Yeah.
pay for extra fuel in the gen,
Yeah.
you know?
So I had an issue with my kids when they are off. They just go on YouTube and start watching comedy. And the other day I was listening. I just heard something. I get, what are you people? You are wasting my data. I said, no, we're just, we took a break. So I was just trying to watch.
It's
I
our
said,
break time. I get that a lot in my house.
Don't try it again. Do you know how much I'm spending? No, please. Just focus on your book. When you're done, you can close it. If you're taking a break, do something else and come back to it. So I think we just need to keep teaching, especially for the lights and the air conditioners. If you're not in a particular room, tell them to put it off and go out. So with time, they will adjust.
Yeah, talking about cartoons that we started with, and sometimes, yes, you just leave them in front of the TV and then you feel guilty. But one thing I know is that my kids are quite competitive. Anything that they're doing, that there's like a reward at the end. So what I've done that's helped me with them is we have downloaded apps, like educational apps. So you do mathematics questions,
Games.
and then when you get it right, you move to the next step. So that has got them really engrossed, especially for my daughter. One other thing, my son is not so keen about TV. If he can get his laptop and do his football games. You know, he's a football
That thing called game.
and he plays football. So he's not had time to play. He plays by himself in the compound. It's not fun.
he can't
That
play
game,
with
I'm
girls.
scared
Yeah.
of getting my kids into games, though, because then if I expose my son to game like this, I know he'll be so addicted.
Yeah.
Use it at the
You
tail
will-
end, like the carrots.
Yeah,
So
it's
for
something
reward.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a reward
Let me
that
take
you
this
give
call from
him.
Miracle. Miracle, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling.
Good morning, ma.
Good
morning.
How old are you?
Happy Children's Day.
Happy
Children's Day.
Am I
How
talking
old
to the mommy or the child? I'm not sure who I'm speaking with.
What do you say?
How old
How
are
old
you?
are you?
10 years old.
Yes. Tell me, what have you been up to in the last few weeks? What have you been
I
doing?
can't hear you.
What have you been doing since the lockdown?
I've been doing my assignments online and playing with my sisters and my brother.
Oh, how many sisters and brothers do you have?
I have only one sister and one brother.
Is it more fun now that you're all at home, or would you rather be back in school where they give you your space?
I'd rather be back in school.
Oh, you miss school. Nice. So how is online? Do you like the online classes
I'm
better?
with my friends.
Nice.
Ah, yeah.
Do you
Interact
prefer,
with my teachers.
do you like the online school better than real school?
No?
Oh, you want to
So
go
you like
back
the
to
physical
classroom.
learning?
Yes.
Nice.
Is it because you miss your teachers or because you miss your friends?
I miss my friends and my teachers.
That's
So
nice.
how have you been eating? I know that a lot of kids are eating more now.
Sorry, ma, I can't hear you.
How have you
I
been
didn't hear you.
eating? How many times do you eat in a day?
3 times a day.
3 times.
Yes.
What about snacks?
Yep.
10 times.
Me too.
Hello?
Thank you.
Hello.
Miracle.
What about your snacks? Do you take snacks?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. They're always taking snacks. Thank you,
Yep.
Miracle. Miracle, is your mommy there?
Yes, she's here.
Can we say hello to her, please?
Okay. Hello, good morning, ma.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm
I don't know how to
good,
say-
and you?
Good, good. So how has it been for you?
It was fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. So, how is their feeding this time? I complained earlier that my kids eat 4 times a day. They snack like 10 times a day. I'm constantly snacking one sweet here, one. How has it been at your own end?
Yeah, when the lockdown started initially, it was like eating. So I have to tell them that this is 3 times daily. We will be eating a day now. So that's how we now start to regulate it. We eat 3 times daily,
Yeah.
and they eat their snack also.
Okay. So how have you been working? Do you work from home?
No, so I do business.
Okay.
So
Do
I'm
they
not
give you
doing
enough
anything.
time to do your work from home?
Yeah, and they help me. We do it together. We do our domestic chores together. We
Okay.
cook together.
Okay.
So we are
That's
doing
nice.
everything together.
That's fantastic.
that's
Thank you
lovely.
so much for joining us. Thank you, Miracle, for joining
Thank
us
you.
this morning. I really would like to get on praise at this time because there are some things we can learn
From him.
But let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
My clothes. Welcome back. We have with us out-of-box parenting expert Praise Fowowe in the building. Hi, Praise.
Hello.
Hello, my ladies. How are you doing?
Good. We
We're doing
missed you.
amazing.
So we know you've been very busy with the videos you have posted on kids, teenagers, and all that. Today we want to focus on the issue of cartoons because parents at this time have practically left the kids over to cartoons, and for them is the best way to at least get some me time. What are your thoughts on cartoons showing today? Are they right for the kids at this time?
Okay. The first thing is I'm always very weary when everyone goes for what is popular, what everyone does, because human beings naturally, once we see something that seems to work, we never think beyond that thing, right? It's the same way. So parents feel that cartoon will engage their children because they want to make time. So they are no longer in control. They don't care about the content of those cartoons. So cartoon is not the problem. It's about the content, right? And the golden rule or the rule of thumb is never give access, never allow your child access to something you have not censored yourself. So when you leave your child at the mercy of the cartoons and you are not in control of the content, then, I mean, if your child gets into porn, gets into all kinds of vices, then you have no one to blame but yourself. There are several options outside of many of the cartoons, and there are even cartoons you can control. There are stations you are sure of what to get.
Right.
But, you know, we never make those kind of researches. We just leave a child at the mercy of, you know, whatever. And, you know, a lot of children have been left up this period.
Right.
So as much as I love the kids to watch cartoons so that I can have a little me time, and I try to sit in with them to watch some of their cartoons as well, I believe that the cartoons are not making our children very creative. Because our kids are supposed to, like, when I was growing up, we used to play in the sand. We cook, you know, buy the cans of bottles and tin tomato stuff. We cook with it. We make things. We build cars with cartons and all of that. So I don't see that much creativity with these kids that just sit in front of the cartoon and learn all the words that they use. So how, as a busy parent now, how do you balance it so that you can still give time to creating things from nothing with your children?
Okay, again, it goes back to your style of parenting. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, when my kids were way younger, my youngest is going to be 10 now. When they were way younger, one of the things we did was we realized that some of the cartoon stations were not good for our children. And I figured out that what children need is movement. So I migrated them to National Joel. Now, with National Joel, there's the movement of animals, but they are learning, right? So as my son there was a time he went for excursion in his school, he could literally name every species of plant, every species of animal, that he had to call me back from school to say, what have you exposed this boy to, right? And even now that they're a bit older, what I do for them is I make them study a character, you know, every other day, and they make presentations to me, right? And that will become content when they start their vlogging and whatever. You know, parents don't know the power they have in their hands, you know, but we just settle for what is popular because there are so many aspects of the child's life that need to grow. And unknown to many people, the children making the animation for those cartoons in South Korea, in Japan, in China, are the age mates of some of your children. Some of them are 7 and 8 year olds. But we are consumers basically, and we are raising a generation of consumers. Parents need to wake up and they need to begin to activate the creativity within their children. There are so many skills, talents that your child has. Let them get out, you know, and play, you know, and run around. It's part of child development. But when you make them addicted to screen, in fact, it's been proven scientifically right now that once you spend more than 3 hours, you know, in front of a screen, you are likely going to be duller, right?
Hey.
I read a research like that, you know. So when people just expose their children to cartoons, you don't even know what is happening there, right? Because you become what you behold consistently. Someone is parenting your child in your potential, and if you don't align to the values of the producer of the content, your child is going to take after the values of the producer of the cartoon. That's what's going to happen. Which is why what the technology has done for us is it has given us the ability to create the environments we want. So, for example, you have the smart TV. You can actually literally choose the cartoons you want your children to be exposed to. In fact, there may be just one cartoon that you want them to watch over and over again that is teaching autobiography of icons that change the world, something you can ask them to make presentations on. So these are various options that we need to begin to explore.
Okay, so I agree with you on cartoons about the content of the cartoon, but for most of us, for growing up during our time, and for me especially, I had a mother who worked many hours, and TV was my teacher and everything. So we learned to pronounce our words properly. We learned about things. We watched things like Sesame Street, and the cartoons were more wholesome then. So TV has actually played a huge role in developing a lot of people. But now, the life that we're in right now, it's sort of taking us back to my growing up days, which is we're in a pandemic. The children cannot go out. Not everybody has a compound that the children can go out to play. And so TV and the books is what you have to give them. What specific cartoons, I think, is what parents, because I get that message, what specific cartoons would we say that our children can watch, or specific programs, apart from National Geographic? I personally, my kids watch all that, but also want to have fun.
Okay, what do we define as fun? You know, a child doesn't know what fun is except what we define as fun for the child.
Okay.
Right? We never forget that. That's why it's called a child. That's why you are called an adult. You are supposed to know better than the child. Right? It's what we expose the child. If a child was not exposed to TV while he was growing up, a child will never miss TV. It's because you have exposed the child to certain things that he gets addicted to it and he begins to miss it. Right? The problem is a lot of parents have no program for their children. Right? And the fundamentals of why do you have a child has not been answered. And number two, number one skill in parenting is observation. And an average parent has not observed their children. You train up the child in the way he should go, which means you are supposed to be intelligent enough to observe your child, and the trait is already exhibiting. Then you create an educational program for him in the line of the natural traits that your child is showing. Your child is not everybody's child. Your child is not every other child. The same way you can raise a global icon at the age of at 20 by not having a script. And you talked about your own time. Never forget that when you were growing up, TV was not 24 hours. You need to bear that in mind.
Yeah.
So you were discontrolled. Now everything is... When you wake up in the morning, what is the program for your... You can pick up. So, for example, you have a child who has aptitude for piano. Can they learn that online? So it's not just about cartoon that is online. They can learn saxophone online. They can learn coding online. There's a whole lot of what many of us classify as work that is fun. Then you can now say, based on the trait your child is trained and the values you want, look for the... there are several cartoon stations, right? Some of them are quite good. And even within the ones who are bad, there are belts where they show same stuff, right? And you want to censor that yourself. That's what you need to do. It's a lot of work, but you see, when you create time to do the fundamentals and the basics, knowing who your child is and the trait your child is showing, you will have nothing to worry about. The problem is an average parent has not answered the question, what is parenting and why do I want a child?
I need to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation with you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have praise Fowowe. BC had a question.
Yes, so I realized that some kids cannot tell the difference between the cartoons and reality. So you see it in the way they act, the way they talk to their parents, because of all the things they are picking up. Now, I have two questions in one. How do you get them to understand that what you're watching is not real, is entertainment, but this is how real human beings behave and treat each other? Now, also, we do not have enough local contents that teach our values, and it's a major problem. So our kids are swallowing values from outside, and you see most of these cartoons in a subtle manner. They are already introducing same-sex, what's this called? All those different things that you don't have any sex at all and all of that. And these kids are gradually accepting that it's a way of life. How do we balance it?
It is not the responsibility of anyone to produce content for you. You need to understand that.
Yeah.
Your parenting is your personal responsibility. It is whatever media does, or the media houses do, or content producers do, is an addendum, and they have their own agenda. And you are not responsible for their own agenda. They are responsible for whatever they want to push to you, right? You need to understand that to watch cartoon, you need to go out of your way. Do you realize that? You need to buy TV. You need to turn it on. You need to subscribe to a cable channel. So it's a lot of processes, right? The question you should ask is, people who used to live in the village, how do they raise their children, right? The children of terrorists who are going to become terrorists, are they exposed to the same cartoon that your children are exposed to, right? But the parenting is creating a script that can produce a predictable result, which is why we say that parenting is an 18-year curriculum. What happens from age 19 is your report card. Can you ask yourself, what do I want to see at age 19? Whatever you want to see at age 19 is what must determine the curriculum you now create and the script you create for your child. So when people say content providers are not producing content, what does it cost you to sit down in your house and tell your children a story every 2 hours, now that everybody is locked down? What does it take for you to take turns, you and your husband, to create all kinds of, games, all kinds of plays within your house? If there is no TV, are you going to say children are not going to be raised? Right? So we keep blaming content producers, and if there's no content, can you take up the challenge? I'll give an example. When the lockdown happened, I visualized that an average church will not have content for children's church. I know they will have content for adults. What did I do? Because I've created a studio in my house, I set up a children's church forum every Sunday from my studio. And now we've done it every week. My children watch it from wherever they are. And other parents are now saying, praise, don't stop even after COVID. You see, when there are challenges, human beings should innovate solutions. We must not be people who blame other people for whatever they are facing to do. What can we do? So if you take responsibility for your children, your content might as well take responsibility for that for children. And you may get paid for it. Yes.
Praise, we all want these children to come out perfect in every way, especially to experience things we never experienced. And we put in so much resources, but maybe not time. But what are those tools? You've given us a few examples. What are the tools parents can begin to imbibe? Because many of us are working hard. At the end of the day, it's all about time. Many don't have that time, Praise, to sit down. I mean, yes, we are locked down, but you're online working, doing meetings. And my kids come to me and say, Mommy, are you available now? Can we talk? And I'm thinking, give me 1 hour, just 1 hour. So the truth is that it's crazy out there. So as a parent, you can't really give what you don't have. So I know you're saying it's deliberate. I'm not even sure if I have the right question here, but what are the tools you can give us? Can you equip us with specific tools?
So when we say we don't have time, I don't believe. You will always find time for what is a priority to you. You always find time, right? So when people say, oh, I don't have time, you have time, right? What you need to do. So for example, you are not going to meetings on Sunday. You can spend 2 hours on Sunday to plan the entire program for the week for your children, which will include surfing the web, downloading videos that you think can help. There are so many animations that talk about autobiography of icons, Thomas Edison, and Jack Ma. So many of them on YouTube. You can download them and schedule them, right? These are things that can keep your children busy. You can look for skills. So you can say on Monday, what my children they're going to be learning values of respect. If you search what are cartoons on respect, you will have lots of cartoons. What you need to do is to create your own cartoon network that now has content that models the values you want to promote, right? So if you spend Sunday 2 hours to plan the entire program for the week, then you will have saved your children and saved yourself. So while you are busy with your meetings, they are busy, and for everything you have asked them to watch, they need to make presentations, they need to pick the lessons they've learned, right, and make presentation for the family maybe at night when you are now free, right? That is how to control the situation. Not that you just say, okay, we don't have time. You always have time. You will only need to find that quality time and plan the entire curriculum for the week. By the next week, you create the same time and do the same thing.
Thank you, Praise.
Yeah. So, Praise, some people will say, see, no child is an island, no family is an island. So you would have a case where people were homeschooled, and by the time they go into society, they stick out like a sore thumb. And some people are saying, okay, if you don't let my children, if I do not allow my children watch these things that are, you know, trending, sort of what everyone is, when my children go out, they become socially awkward. So we're talking about things they have no idea about. So on the one hand, I understand making sure you sort of curate the content for your children, but to the point where you almost, you know, so I'm listening to you, I'm like, at what point is it too much that they have no idea of the real world? Someone once said, my mom taught me love, but she never taught me hate. So I grew up in an environment of love. Then I grew up, then I left home and I went into the world and I saw hate. And it had never occurred to me that there was that. So sometimes do we take it too far in protecting these children?
I don't think so. Again, you say you want them to be aware of what other children are aware of. Your child is not every other child. Please, always bear this in mind. What do you want? You want your child to lead this generation. You want your child to be a natural leader now. So everything you are going to create, and your program has to be robust. I'm not saying just teach love. I'm not teach. So, for example, I have some parents who have asked me to help them mentor their children this period. So I asked them, okay, go and study Joseph Stalin. Go and study Adolf Hitler. What are the 7 lessons you can learn that every child must avoid from Adolf Hitler? Now, that's learning that there is also the bad side to life, right? So it's about you creating, and like I keep saying, please understand that your parenting style and your parenting template must be based on the traits your child has exhibited. Your child doesn't have to know everything. That's the truth. There are people who don't know it. In fact, you don't even know everything. No. I don't have to be exposed to everything, every slang. That's keeping up with the Joneses. I only need to know what I need to know for me to lead my sector. That's all I focus on, right? So don't feel bad that your child doesn't know the latest dance. So don't feel bad that your child doesn't know the latest dance step, doesn't know. Your child must become a positive representative, which is why we are saying that post-COVID, families must move from the current structure to becoming a tribe. Every family must become a nation. It must be systems engineered in a way that, your child can become who he's supposed to become, leading his generation. He must become a positive peer pressure himself, right? When a child is comfortable in his identity, comfortable in who he is, he will no longer care what every other person knows that he doesn't know. He will know what he knows, and he can lead what he can lead.
Okay, let's find, because we have very little time. Disciplining these children at this time. Many of us are used to beating and spanking. They'll tell you, let me beat them. Well, that's how they beat me when I was growing up. And parents just want to just use that rod. They go back to that part in the Bible that tells you to not spare the rod. How do we discipline children in this time?
The word discipline is the word discipleship. Discipleship does not start with spanking. Discipleship starts with modeling and instruction. Now, how you discipline a child is now dependent on who your child is and the perceptual code you have created for your child. If you say your child is a royalty, how are royalties disciplined? Do they spank them? Do they slap them? Do they instruct? Do they negotiate? Right? The perceptual code is what must determine how you raise your child, you discipline your child. And please, let us understand something fundamental when it comes to child discipline, that you cannot use physical punishment to correct a behavioral problem. If corporal punishment can correct behavior, what do they call them? The prisoners who have been beaten black and blue by police will not go back and commit the same offense again. Behavioral problem must have a behavioral solution, right? If it's not a physical problem, you cannot be given using pain to solve that problem.
So for example, so physical is like you steal something. That's physical. Behavior is maybe you lie. Is that what you're saying?
Stealing something is behavioral. There's a psychology for stealing. The psychology of stealing is scarcity. When somebody has an abundant mentality, they don't
So give
steal.
us the difference, because we have to close. So what's that physical thing that a child does that might need spanking?
Well, I can't even give anything right now that may need spanking, because my father beat me a lot. He didn't solve any problem in me. My mother spoke to my identity consistently. It changed me. So I don't have that example to even give, right? But what I've realized is we settle too early for beating a child, when actually you can instruct a child. Everything your child does wrong is an opportunity for you to remind him of his identity. His bad behavior is the weed. Your child is the plant. You must focus on the weed, and you must uproot the weed without upsetting the plant. So accept your child rejects behavior. Rejecting behavior can come in form of communication. Sometimes it's withdrawing privileges, right? To remind him that nothing comes easy. But ensure that whatever discipline you met out to your child, he must not compromise his identity and must not negatively affect his self-esteem. Because once his self-esteem is compromised, you have messed up that child.
Thank you so much, Praise. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day.
Can we give one tweet?
Children are royalty. Go ahead.
So Mom Beauty, just to give you love today, she says, you don't want to imagine what I go through with my twins. So she put a picture of them on Twitter. They are just 1 and 8 months, but God help me. I scream like hell every day. They are waiting for me to tune the TV to cartoon. You see that boy? It's 3 children in one. Happy Children's Day.
There's one very important one. There are educative cartoons out there. Jim Jam is one station I love for all my children, but I also downloaded Dave and Eva videos, which is good. So I think we should look
All
out
right,
for
cool.
such.
All right, so before you
Jam.
start spanking your children anyhow, remember their royalty. And with discipline means...
Remind them of their
yes,
identity.
yes, exactly. Remind them of their identity. Fantastic. That's all we can take today. Happy Children's Day to children out there.
Happy Children's Day.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Children's Day, we love you.